Hey you, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. For today's video I really wanted to share with you 7 beach ideas that I have used on my island. Now these beach ideas have been visible in my tour video as well, but I still thought it might be easier to talk a bit more about them in a separate video as well. I know there are a lot of you who struggle to find inspiration for your beaches, so maybe this video can help you out in some way. It is also a bit windy today, but we are gonna make do with that too. So let's get into it right away. First off, I want to talk about my favorite part of my beaches, which is my lighthouse area. Now this is the way I used my little bump out on my island. I know all of you have this little bump out, but they can vary in sizes. And of course location. Mine is on the left side of my island, quite perfectly in the middle I guess. And there was enough room for me to make an elevated lighthouse area with a viewing spot as well. So it's kind of a nice stargazing area as well. Now I did clutter it up a bit with flowers around it, and I did give it an incline so you can actually get up here. Let me just go back to my character. And yeah, I really like the vibes this gives me. Of course you can change it up depending on the color of the lighthouse, or you can just place something totally different on this little bump out area. But if your bump out or this little area on your island is big enough, I would recommend to have one floor up at least. It does give a nice effect. It's all up to you of course, but I personally like it when there is some elevation going on here. I have also seen people who have this area elevated and where my road is. Of course this is my road to my farm area, but if I had the space I would have elevated this area too, just because I really like it when there is a bit of a tunnel feel or whatever right in the middle here. Now to kind of have that effect still, I did place trees instead because the elevation was not possible on the other side, but I do like the height the trees give as well. And since I'm already using this custom design on the floor as well other places of my island, I kind of just reuse it to not have one big blob of grass here as well. It's kind of a little deck area that kind of connects the lighthouse to the land as well. And then of course in front of it, in this way I was looking at it, I just placed some palm trees, weeds, white, let's see, these are the cosmos flowers, green mums, and on my beaches you will also see that I have technically yellow mums, but I have plucked the flowers away, so they are just these barely or they aren't flowering at all. And since the plants can grow on sand, they kind of stay in that way as well. And you will see some different heights of palm trees as well. Here I placed a tiny little one. This does mean I have to place a fruit tree right behind it, so I don't really like too many of these on my beaches, but so here and there I do like to have a tiny little palm tree as well. So yeah, I believe this palm tree is 3 days old. That is the favorite size in my opinion. Yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about the bump out area, so let's move on to the next one. Next idea I wanted to talk about are placing houses on the beaches. These can be the residents or the player houses. In my case I only placed a 1 player house on my beach, and this house kind of serves as the outdoorsy shop of my island. Now of course you can make it into whatever you want. Coming to think of it, I might just keep this for my winter designs and rather turn the entire place into a beach cafe and place a lot of cute tables around the place and benches and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can make this in whatever you want. I chose this time around to make it into an outdoor shop, and I used a lot of the fishing tournament items since they looked quite good here. And as you see here, I placed a wooden sign with one of the pre-made or one of the original designs that, in my opinion, looked like a for sale sign. And I placed just a couple of diving suits in front of it, kind of to symbolize that there are more inside to buy. This area is also connected to this little pier area, which is also on the left side of my island. Again, if you are turning this in a beach cafe, for example, you could have placed a table and 2 chairs here, or some benches and some lights, and make it a cozy eating area as well. In my case scenario, I made it into a fishing spot. Yeah, and to kind of like how this turned out, it's quite cute, but yeah, it fits my theme. But again, placing a player house on the island, or even just a resident house if it fits your ideas, then you can make an entire new story on that part of the beach. So since I'm not sure if these are on the corners for all beaches or for all islands, but since this one was all at the bottom in a corner for me, it meant I had quite a bit of space in this corner to actually place a house comfortably and still have room to decorate around it. So if you have this possibility, I would recommend try out some ideas with a player house or resident house on the beach. And just to show you this area as well, the deck kind of continues a little bit more out towards the shed area. I made just a shed with a lot of random stuff to go with the house, since it is an outdoorsy shop. And I dropped 1 diving suit and a fishing rod as well. So for the people that visit my dream code can go on a fishing trip or a swimming trip if they want. And for the rest, I decorate the same way with palm trees, weeds, and same flowers. And the same designs on the floor as well. Those design codes are also all linked down below, so, or at least written down below. You still need to go to the Able shop yourself and click them in, of course, but if you like any of them, you can find them there. I do recommend, however, if you do place weeds on the beach, it kind of depends how you play. I kind of hate cleaning up weeds every time they grow out and start spreading, so I have blocked in every single weed on my island, either by other plants, rocks, or the fake pattern rocks, or whatever. A pattern, a flower, a plant, a tree, it doesn't matter, but I have blocked in all my weeds so they can't spread anymore. And I kind of recommend doing that on the beach if you don't want to, or don't want to need to clean up your beaches every day, because it's kind of boring. You already have so many shells to pluck up. If you don't want to pluck weeds as well, I recommend using, like I did, either tiny rocks, or in the beginning when I made my first video, I had this very cute shell design, but I couldn't afford to have any more, or I didn't have room in my custom designs to keep them, but they are also very cute to kind of block in those weeds with if you want. Yeah, let's go to the next idea. My next idea might seem a bit odd for on the beaches, but if you are like me and didn't have room for it on your island and you still wanted to have somewhere on your island, you can make a pool area on your beaches. Now, of course, you can also drop the pools and just keep the poolside beds. That's kind of up to you, but I really wanted to use my pool somewhere since I had it for the longest time and I didn't want to sell it or keep it in storage. So this is kind of how I made do with what I had. And I placed it in front of my shops. So it's kind of the tourist visiting area for my island, I guess. Now, again, I use the plants the same way. These... oh, I'm stuck here. These ones are what I've mentioned a bit earlier. Those are actually yellow mums, but... yeah, I didn't really like the yellow colors on my beach. And since I wasn't in the mood to try and clone more green ones, I just plucked the yellow ones instead. And to kind of make the pool's area a bit more alive, I did place a bunch of shoes around as well, or slippers. You will see them on more places on my island. I know I've been skipping a couple of areas, but those are my ideas for filling up your empty spaces on your beaches. So we will be coming back to those soon, and there too you will see I've placed a lot of slippers. Now this area is also connected to my lifeguard post, I guess. So you have the changing rooms, a little vending machine. This is kind of the pretend lifeguard station, I guess. Again, just some random stuff. A surfboard, the diving suit, because I kind of liked it there. A random pot plant, because I didn't know what else to plant here. And again, some slippers. And another thing I did not have room for on my island anywhere else was a playing area. So this is kind of just now a part of my pool area. It's again all in front of the shops, so I feel it's kind of the most tourist friendly, visiting friendly area. But again, you can do whatever you want. With these kind of areas, you could turn this in, instead of a playing ground, you could have had more poolside beds here as well to kind of balance out the other side. So it's poolside beds, pools, lifeguard, and you could have had more sunbathing options here as well. But I chose to just keep it to the playground since these items are lying around anyway. So yeah. And around all my beaches, the plants stay the same. Again, I've blocked in the weeds here with a pattern, a flower, and a toy. Yeah, that's kind of my thought progress on the weeds. I really don't want to pick any more than necessary. But let's go with the next area. Yeah. The next area is what I showed of in the beginning of the video, but this time I'm clearly losing my nice weather. I hope I can finish this video before it turns all grey, but this is kind of my residential area, or the nicer area of my beaches. So it's kind of a bit copied along this way and repetitive, but I kind of like that feel. I remember when I visited somewhere tropical, the beaches were just lined up with all these kind of cheap sunbathing beds or these poolside beds. And they all kind of looked similar, like they matched and all that. And that feeling I kind of wanted to return here, but I changed up either what's on the little side tables. It's not a side table, but I use them as side tables. And I placed some sandals or slippers around the place as well. And again, the same plants. So it's 3 areas. It's this one. And then the next one has a fruit bowl. And you see they are right next to my main street, my main resident street. And they have another set of slippers. And then the third one had to be on this little bump out because I didn't have enough room to make one on the beach. And I really didn't know what else to use this little bump out for. So they all have this dark deck underneath again, just as my lighthouse. So it's kind of matching. And kind of coming back on different places of my beaches and islands. And I kind of like that idea. Of course, it's again another drink here as well, because I didn't know what other items I could place besides the fruit bowl and the coconut drink. But I do really like this kind of area. And of course, you could have had it on the beach facing forward or on the other sides. Kind of, yeah. It can be wherever. You could also do it on both sides if you wanted to be very tourist friendly or whatever. But I really like to have it close to these resident houses as a kind of private beach feel, or a more fancy beach feel, I guess. So yeah, that's another idea. Let's go to the next one. The next 2 ideas are a bit more out there. You either like it or you don't, I guess. But again, it kind of gives you an idea on what you can do with these rocks in the back of your island. They are always a bit different in sizes too. This one, or my right side, was a bit smaller than my left side, I guess. Or at least a bit more unpractical. I don't know. But yeah, I turned this little area into a spa area because I didn't really use any of the bamboo or blossom stuff anywhere else on my island. So I kind of just wanted a relaxing little corner on my island where I could use these items. So I used the bamboo partitions to kind of separate it a bit, make it a bit more like a secret spa feel. And I just placed a couple of items to boost that idea. Again, some slippers, some towel baskets, and then just decorated it with stuff I think looks good. So you can go as crazy as you want with a little spa area. You can also drop the bamboo stuff if that doesn't fit your theme. It's kind of up to you again, of course. I kind of wanted to have at least a spa area somewhere on my island, so this is how it ended up looking. And yeah, let's go to the other rock as well, on the opposite side of my island. Okay, it's starting to become very grey outside, but here is my other rock, or my other opposite area of my island, I guess. I don't know. I kind of wanted to turn it into a wedding area, but I quickly realized that both the beach in this area and this rock space are a lot smaller than I thought it would be. So I kind of compromised with the fact that I didn't place any art, wedding art. I just placed these wedding benches that you get from the wedding event. I had all 3 of them already laying around and I didn't want to sell them or throw them away or anything, so I just chose to place them here as kind of an orchestra area, I guess. So we have the music instruments that I also really wanted to use somewhere on my island because I find them really pretty. And they cost a bunch of bells to buy, so I again didn't want to throw them away or sell them at the Nook shop. So instead, this is how I ended up using the area. I couldn't decorate it too much because there is simply not enough space to walk if I start dropping more stuff or more lights, for example. I wanted to place more lights as well, like this one, but yeah, it's a lot tighter and this game is quite strict on his grid size. Even though the lantern is quite small, it just didn't want to sit next to this bench, which was kind of annoying, but in the end I do think there is a nice balance in this area and I do like the idea that it is here as well. And it gave something else to my beaches besides poolside beds and towels and all that kind of stuff. Now last up, my last ideas. I'm gonna show you a couple of areas, hoping it doesn't start to rain yet. Those ideas are kind of as a filling up idea if you have a lot of small areas on your beaches that you don't know what to do with. So let's get looking at those. Okay. First off, we have this little barbecue area. I really like having barbecue areas on my island since I kind of use them, at least during summer times, in real life as well. Not always to barbecue, but also just to picnic. And as you see, this is connected to the wedding area in the back. And I didn't really place anything closer to that rock, just to divide those 2 areas and keep them separate. So this is quite a big distance, but I really couldn't place anything more over there besides greenery. So it's just this little corner. And if I followed this below, I just placed this random item on the rocks because it fitted and it looks kind of cute on there, I think. At least in this swatch it matches. And if I continue even more, we have some more, just some, I don't know, this... It gives you a chance to just lay here, of course, but it also matches the grill area because it is the same log furniture in the same color swatch. And then, of course, I placed this tiny little sandcastle here as well. So that's kind of how you can fill out some of the more open spaces. Yeah, if you have some open spaces left. And then, of course, there's a lot of greenery going on here, but that's kind of how I wanted to connect it to the lighthouse. And then underneath the lighthouse you have seen the surfboards with enough greenery. And again, if you continue, you see me placing a lot of random stuff like this little live ring, a beach ball, and again something to lay on. Most of this stuff has been dropped either by shaking trees or shooting down balloons. And I was like, yeah, I might as well just use them on my beaches. I have some other ideas on the opposite of my island as well, but let's also quickly look on how the beach next to my outdoor shop looked, because I forgot showing off this area. And this is just some relaxing area as well. It has the hanging beds things. I always forget what they're called in English. I'm sorry. I made a fake volleyball area with the rope fence. If you place 2 of them, they don't get this pin in the middle, and that's kind of how I like the best. Again, a cooling box, surfboard, life ring. It's kind of a bit on a repeat, the same items, but different color swatches. And you have maybe also noticed that I placed some seaweeds here and there. Again, it's kind of optional. I both like them and don't like them. I find them a bit ugly, but at the same time in some areas they do look really good. And then the design here is also kind of on purpose. By making it, I don't know, this empty in the middle and then 2 strokes with a square in the middle that doesn't have the print. It made 2 pathways, but it also kind of reminded me as if you want to drop your boat from the trailer into the sea. You can kind of back up your trailer on this wooden paths as if you won't sink in the sand, if you know what I mean. So it's kind of had a multi-purpose. I didn't really place it like that with that idea in mind, but later while looking at it, I was like, yeah. This is the area on the beach or on my island where you can drop your boat in the sea if you want to. Not that this game has it, but I don't know, it gives a tiny bit of a realistic feel, I guess, and I kind of like those little touches. Now let's go to the opposite side of my island one more time. Okay, so I'm back a little bit more at my pool area just to kind of showcase how you will walk to the other areas. So you would cross my entrance area to get to this little part over here, and those shells, I cleaned them up just yet. Again, I used a couple of those paths, and here you see another little fill-up area. So I had this pretty big empty area, and I didn't really want to fill it up with another of those little things here. Those little areas here. I didn't really want to have a 4th one, so I thought I might as well just place a lot of random stuff again. So I decided to place a kiddie pool, because when you are visiting the beach with maybe a little toddler, then the toddler might not be able or be safe to play at the sea. So you might as well bring your own little kiddie pool, maybe. I don't know. I had never really thought about it myself. But yeah, it's just some random stuff. Some seating options, some picnic options, the cute little sandcastle, and another random life ring. Yeah, and then there's one last area that I also want to share with you. So let me just run over there quickly as well. I nearly forgot about this area. So there are 2 more areas that I want to show. This one is what I call my own private beach. It's closest to my player house, and I don't know, I just placed a couple of cute towels with the Able Sister prints on them because I didn't have any more slots to custom designs. I placed down a couple of cute clippers and another color variation of the picnic basket. And as you see in the back there, that's kind of my secret beach because my residents can't really come there comfortably because I didn't have room for a bridge. But here again, I placed some of the random stuff that has dropped in either presents or whatever. And yeah, it gave some more interactions for my residents if they would be able to come here, but they don't. And I'm not the set of slippers, sandcastle, and then there is this rock. In the back here is the spa, so I was kind of hoping to place the same kind of garden fountain thing that I had on the opposite side of my island, but this rock turned out to be smaller, so I couldn't really fit anything big on it. So I made it into another relaxing spot with 2 cute towels, another of these pool beds that I clearly am not allowed to lay on right now, I don't know. And another cooler box, because why not? No, I don't want to change. So yeah, those are kind of the ideas that I have. It's really dark out now. I didn't really know that it was gonna be this bad of a weather. I thought I had chosen the right day with the right weather, but clearly not. But yeah, those were all the ideas I had for my beaches. I do hope they give you some kind of inspiration to try out some more yourself. I'm not sure if you're already in autumn. I would say most of these ideas could still work in autumn as well. Maybe you need to empty the towels and the poolside beds when it's winter. Maybe that feels more natural, but I would at least look at the greenery. Place palm trees, place weeds, and place at least some kind of flower. It kind of gives a bit more of an interest feel. I kept to these flowers because I wanted to have the most natural feel, but you could also just go all colorful, or if you have a specific color theme going on your island, use those flowers. But I would use a couple of them at least close to the edge, so not to the water edge, but the edge towards the land. Use some kind of plants and greenery, and use a print that either shows stones, rocks, or shells, or whatever. Those also work really well on the beaches, I think. And yeah, I hope you find out some other ideas as well. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you might almost be in summertime, so though these ideas might work really well for you as well, I guess. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you want, or if you haven't already, and click those notification bells so you get notified whenever I post something new. And it is also possible to follow me on Twitter or Instagram. In this video I have linked my Animal Crossing accounts. I have 2 new accounts, both on Twitter and on Instagram, for Animal Crossing purposes only. So yeah, don't forget to follow me there if you want to. For now, thank you so much for watching, and I do of course hope I see you next time. Bye bye!